Title: The Roman Mystery That Scientists Cannot Solve, the Dodecahedron Enigma. Description: Imagine holding an object that has baffled archaeologists for over 300 years. Over 100 of these strange bronze artifacts have been found across Europe, and yet we have absolutely no idea what they were used for. Join us as we explore the most persistent unsolved mystery of the Roman world and the theories that might finally crack the code. Tags: Roman mystery, ancient technology, unsolved history, archaeology, dodecahedron, Roman artifacts, ancient mysteries. Script: Imagine holding an object forged in bronze over 1800 years ago. It fits perfectly in your palm. It has 12 flat faces, each with a different sized hole cut into the center. Small knobs sit at every corner. You have absolutely no idea what it is. And the worst part? Neither do the world's leading archaeologists. This is the Roman dodecahedron. Over 100 of them have been unearthed across Europe, from Hadrian's Wall to the banks of the Danube, and after centuries of study, we still don't know what the Romans used them for. Today, we are going to take you deep inside one of archaeology's most stubborn mysteries. These are not your typical museum artifacts. You probably won't see them in a Hollywood movie about ancient Rome, but the dodecahedron is a real, physical puzzle that has defied explanation since the first one was discovered in the 18th century. Most of them date from between the 2nd and 4th centuries AD, right at the height of the Roman Empire. They are small, about the size of a baseball, and they are made of bronze or copper alloy. Some are so precisely crafted that they could have only been made by a master metalworker. And yet, no Roman writer, no ancient text, no inscription, no mosaic, no fresco has ever depicted one or described its purpose. It is as if they appeared and disappeared without leaving a single word in the historical record. Let's start with what we do know. The dodecahedra all share the same basic design: 12 pentagonal faces, a circular hole in the middle of each face. But here is the bizarre twist. Every single dodecahedron has holes of different sizes on its different faces. Some holes are barely a centimeter wide, others are large enough to fit a finger through, and each of the 12 corners is caped with a small spherical knob. The craftsmanship is remarkable. They were clearly not cheap toys. They required skill and time to produce. So why would the Romans, a civilization famous for its practical engineering, spend valuable resources creating something with no obvious function? Over the years, archaeologists have proposed dozens of theories. Let's walk through the most popular ones. Theory number 1: they were candlestick holders. The idea is that you would push a candle into the largest hole and use the knobs as a base. It sounds reasonable until you realize that no two dodecahedra have the same hole pattern. A candle that fits one dodecahedron would wobble in another. Plus, there is no wax residue found on any of them. Theory number 2: they were surveying tools, a kind of ancient theodolite. You would look through the holes to align with distant stars or landmarks, but the holes are not uniformly sized or positioned for precise sighting, and no Roman engineer ever wrote about using a 12-faced device for land measurement. Then we have the more creative theories. Theory 3: they were knitting or weaving tools. You would wrap thread around the knobs to create gloves or socks. In fact, some modern reenactors have successfully knitted gloves using a replica dodecahedron. It works, sort of, but the problem is that Roman textiles have been found preserved in bogs and volcanic ash, and none of them show the stitching pattern that a dodecahedron would produce. Not a single surviving Roman garment matches the knitting theory. Theory 4: they were religious objects, perhaps used by druids or priests for divination. You would roll the dodecahedron like a die, and the hole that faced up would reveal a divine message. The problem? The Romans hated druids. They literally banned their religion in Gaul and Britain, and no Roman temple has ever been found with a dodecahedron inside. So where does that leave us? In 2023, a new study shook the archaeological world. A team of researchers from the University of Leicester conducted a statistical analysis of every known dodecahedron. They measured the hole diameters, the knobs, the angles, the weight distribution, and they found something astonishing. The holes appear to follow a mathematical relationship. The size of each hole corresponds to a specific astronomical ratio, particularly the orbits of Venus and Mars. Could they have been a sophisticated calendar, a device to predict the movements of planets. The Romans were obsessed with astrology and celestial omens, but again, no ancient text describes such a device. Then came the most controversial theory of all. In 2024, a German archaeologist named Dr. Stefan Weber proposed that the dodecahedra were actually a standardized measuring device for aqueducts. He argued that the different hole sizes allowed engineers to measure the flow rate of water by placing the device over the end of a pipe. The holes would create specific water pressure values, and the Romans were master hydraulics engineers. They built aqueducts stretching hundreds of miles. It fits their practical nature perfectly. But there is one glaring problem. None of the dodecahedra have ever been found near a water source. They have been found in burial sites, in military camps, in private homes, but never in a bathhouse, never in a reservoir, never in a fountain. So we are left with a mystery that refuses to be solved. One object, 12 faces, 0 answers. And that is exactly what makes the Roman dodecahedron so fascinating. It reminds us that the ancient world was not just a simpler version of our own. It was a world with its own forgotten technologies, its own lost tools, its own secret knowledge. Every time we think we have perfectly reconstructed the Roman mind, an object like this appears and humbles us. Now, you might be wondering, could the dodecahedron be a fake, a hoax planted by an 18th century prankster? Unlikely.